Hey, what's up everybody? TooTallToby here, and a few moments ago I finished recording the 30-minute tutorial on how to build this part. Actually, I think it was more like 40 minutes, and now I figured I would go through and try to speed run this thing. So I'm going to try to use all the same best practices that I used in this tutorial. I think maybe I'm not going to rename the features. That's the one step I'm going to omit, but I'm going to pretty much do everything else so that I end up with a nice parametrically sound model that we can modify using equations, so we can make this thing a little bit of a larger diameter or a smaller diameter, and it updates, and we can change the max width of this thing and it updates. So we're going to make something that's still parametrically sound, but we're going to try to do it on a speed run. If that sounds good to you, be sure to hit the like button on this video, and let's get into it here. We're going to go to TooTallToby.com. We're going to say access full library. This is our library of over 250 of these 2D to 3D CAD challenges, and this one we just added to the library, and it's even featured up here at the top in our featured models 251208. So if you want to give this a try, you absolutely can. All right, here we go. We're going to give this thing a try. 251208. Last time we did it in 28 minutes. Really, it's like 30 minutes. And this is our fastest time though. So you can see here, we track all the times of your runs. So the first run I did it 28 minutes. The next run I actually did it slower. It should have been faster, right? But I was making a tutorial. Now we're gonna actually put the gas on, and we're gonna see how fast we can finish this thing. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. So we already have a game plan because we already modeled this thing in a tutorial. We're going to say open in a new window so we can move this over to our second screen. We're going to move this over here so we can keep an eye on our time. We're going to jump into SolidWorks here, and we're going to say that we want to begin a new part using the plain carbon steel millimeter template. We're going to go here to tools, equations, and lay out some basic equations. It's kind of like we're getting this model from a customer. So we'll make our wire diameter 8 millimeters. We'll make our half wire diameter here the global variable for 8/2. We'll create our max width here. This is coming from the customer input. So that max width is 185. And then we'll create our height to rod from floor, and that is going to be 299. Like I said, we're trying to do this fast, but we're still trying to maintain best practices, and this is based on the customer giving us a project. You know, we want to see how long would it really take us to get this thing into a 3D model if the customer gave it to us. One thing that I sometimes run into is if Instant 3D is turned on, it's hard for me to double click on this dimension, so I'll turn off Instant 3D, and I'll make the height of that first sketch plane 4 millimeters. If you want to see a little bit more of the background as to why I'm making some of these decisions, you can watch that full 30-minute tutorial or 40-minute tutorial video. That really explains kind of what I'm doing here. But these are all following some best practices that I established in that video. And so we're going to create a dimension here. This dimension is going to equal the global variable for max width. And then we're going to create a dimension here. This is kind of just like a do nothing dimension going out the back here. I think we made that 300 last time. And then the distance from our origin to the front of the part is 73 millimeters. And that is going to be my kind of layout for width, and then we'll change the sketch color on that as well, and then we can hide this sketch plane. I don't think we need to see this anymore. And then on that sketch plane, we're going to create the geometry for the wire work. So we'll come in here, we'll touch the end point, come off with a tangent arc, come across with a tangent arc over here, come back, touch the end point, tangent arc, an arc or a straight line here up in this direction. And then we'll make this a vertical line. We'll make this one here tangent. And then we're going to do offset entities, and we're going to take all that geometry and we're going to offset it bidirectional. So select chain bidirectional and with the construction geometry for the offset geometry. And then we'll go into each of these offsets and we'll say equals the half wire distance. And that way, if we make a change to our global variables, the change will update and we'll push through here to this value here. Okay, so now we're going to create some locating dimensions and some layout dimensions here. This is 154 to that backmost corner. The angle here is 35. The radius here is 20. That's inside bend radius. The inside bend radius here is 110. And then usually at this point, I try to get some of this stuff to be locked down. I usually kind of, I try to get as much as I can to be black, fully defined geometry sooner rather than later. So I kind of like work my way through a sketch. So there you see, I've got that geometry black. Now I'll work my way through the rest of the sketch. So maybe we'll add a couple more dimensions, 20 to the inside, to 10 for this one, right? This one's different, 10, 35 here for this one, 35. Okay, and then we'll make this tangent. And then we'll take this point and drop it on the origin. Coincident. That lines everything up. Nice fully defined sketch. That is our 2D sweep path for the bottom. Now we go to right plane and we create a line here that comes from the end point of that sketch that we just made. There we go. Took me a little bit to get that picked up on. And then we create a dimension here that goes from the top plane, which is the floor, to this end point here. And that is going to equal our global variable for height from rod to floor, height of rod from floor. Okay, exit that sketch. And now we're going to do sketch 3D sketch. And we're going to take this geometry here and convert it. And then this geometry here, right click, select chain and convert it. And then we're going to add a fillet there between those two. Okay, and then that fillet is going to have a radius of equals the global variable of half wire plus the inside bend radius there of 52. Okay, now we can exit that sketch. Now that's our sweep path. And now here, again, just following the best practices that I did in the other video, just because we're trying to emulate this following best practices, I will make a sketch plane for the wire, and then I will sketch the circle for the wire. You don't have to do it this way. You could certainly do this as a solid sweep, and it would work out fine as well. I'm just doing it this way because I'm trying to kind of create a one-to-one to show you that you can follow best practices and model fast. You can have both. You can do both, guys. It is possible. So this is our sweep profile. This is our sweep path, and there is our wire. And now we're ready to create this little notch here at the top of the wire. So that's going to be a diameter of 5. This one is going to be convert entities and extrude cut to 13.5. There we go. We can hide some of this excess geometry just to make the workspace a little bit less busy. It's like we're cleaning up our tools. It's like we're working in the shop and we're cleaning up our tools a little bit here as we go. Okay, and now we can go to our front plane, begin a sketch, and we're ready to create the geometry for that revolve. So for that revolve, we start out here with a construction line, which is directly above the origin, directly on the origin. And then that sets us up to create some of this other geometry. Maybe we could start out at that corner. That was a little bit different from how I did it last time. Maybe we could come up to here. Could also, when you're creating that spherical, you could come back and touch this endpoint in SolidWorks. And if you come off to the left, you can make it so that the center point of that arc is vertical. Little time saver there. And then here we're going to go up at, what is this? It goes up at 8 millimeters, 8. Come back, touch the endpoint, come off of that with a radius of 40. Let's go, let's go. And then this can kind of push in here a little bit. This point connects onto there. And then the height to that line down here to this point is a height of 30. The gap here, remember we're adding in a clearance gap here so that when we 3D print this part, it'll retrofit onto our physical part. So make that gap 0.4. We'll make the distance here 2 for that gap. And then the distance from here, from this point to here, is also 2, coincidentally. And then this from the center line to this point and then cross over, that distance is 14. That gives us that shape of that spherical cut. Features revolve, don't merge results. Hit the check mark here. And then we're going to say that this is going to be a fillet with a value of 1 millimeter. And there we go with that fillet. And then we're going to go to that body and we're going to say that that body has a material of ABS from our library. And now if we control Q here to get the center to update 324.89 grams, let's see if that's correct. 324.89, enter. Oh yeah, nice. Sub 7-minute speed run on that model. So congratulations, the answer is correct, but you already knew that as you have completed this practice model before. And that is our speed run for that model. Less than 7 minutes to finish that thing. But what's more important than doing it fast is doing it right. And that's really what I try to teach all my students as we are going through these challenges. It's not just about doing these models fast. Like, it's great. It's great that we got a fast time there. If we go to the top 100, look at that. Toby, #1, faster than Matab, who won a tournament earlier this year. He's one of the fastest guys in the speed modeling community. Look at that, 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Let's go. But the thing is, it's more important to do your models so that they are parametrically sound. This is a parametric paper towel holder. And so what that means is that when we are looking at this model and the customer comes to us and says, hey, listen, this is what I want the max width to be. I want that max width to be 185. That's what I want my max width to be. Then when the customer comes to us and says, hey, can you change the diameter of that wire? We can't get a hold of 8mm wire. We can only get a hold of 10mm wire. Well, then we want to be able to go in here to our equations, and we want to make that change, and we want to know when we make that change that we're not going to have this thing push out beyond our max width. You know, if we didn't define that thing parametrically, then we might end up running into a problem here if we took shortcuts. But now if we change that to 10 and we press enter and the geometry updates, look, it stayed within that max width, and even the cap updated when we did that. If we make that 12, look, the cap updated when we did that. That is pretty darn cool, and that's what you really want. Those are the conversations you want to have with the customer. You know, you want to know that when you update some of these dimensions that everything is going to update correctly, and you're not going to have to sit there and rebuild and repair your model. So just keep in mind that, you know, just because you're modeling fast, it doesn't mean that you can't model correctly as well. Ideally, you want to learn how to do both, and that's really what we try to teach you here at TooTallToby.com. So if you enjoy these types of challenges, be sure to visit us at TooTallToby.com. You can see that we've got a library here of over 250 of these challenges. This one we just added is way down here at the bottom. 250 of these challenges added here, number 25-12-08. But of course, you can sort this library based on the type of challenges you're trying to do, and you can get started for free. And then if you really enjoy the app, you can unlock the entire library by upgrading to premium. And if you enjoyed this speed run, be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you learned from this speed run. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next TooTallToby SolidWorks speed run.